And I always had that self-belief that one day I was going to get big fights.
What excites you most about this next stage of your career?
The next stages of my career is about records. Fine. I used to think that failure was something scary, but it's not. It only makes you better. But it's who you become in the process. That's the main thing.
How are you, Tim?
Good, good.
How are you feeling?
A lot has gone.
Can you imagine after, all the lights and everyone just looking in on you, and now you've just had some time to regather, but you still went and got into the marathon immediately after.
Yeah, look, I think after every fight, it's a whirlwind of emotions. There's always the come up, but there's always the come down. I'm grateful to be surrounded by amazing people that have made life so much better. And for me, as soon as I got back to Australia, which was 4 days after my fight, I went straight back into it, straight back into the grind, and I gave myself a goal of trying to pursue a marathon within a month time post-fight. So the first 3 days I had a rest, and then I went straight back into it. Already done 2 half marathons 2 weeks since my fight. So it's been, of course, a challenging part on your body, but again, mind over matter at all times, and that's what I pursue. To be the man who I am now, to always keep pursuing greatness, to keep always pushing myself, no matter what, to not allow any downtime, rest, and deregulate from everything. It's never been part of me, so that's why I'm always pursuing greatness no matter what. Looking for different challenges and different things to keep myself challenged, and that's what I recommend a lot of people, to. It's not always the goal, there are failures on the way. You do crash and burn at times, and that's completely fine. The main thing is who you become in the process to get to that goal.
So you've given Australian boxing a resurgence in recent years, and it's clear you want to be more than just a fighter. How important is it for you to be a pioneer for Australian boxing and help the sport continue to grow in popularity?
A big part of my journey was to raise the ceiling for Aussie boxing. I think boxing does so much in people's lives that we can all take inspiration, whether you're a 5-year-old, whether you're an old person, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny. There's so much benefits from it. So I wanted to bring everyone into it. I wanted to represent Australia on that global scene and keep bringing that benchmark up, and of course to give opportunities to people to fight on special events. I remember growing up, it was sometimes hard to get put onto different shows and stuff like that. There wasn't that pay-per-view scene yet, but now that there is that pay-per-view scene, and there's all these different young up-and-comers getting opportunities where there is eyeballs and people can sponsor fighters and they can fight against different fighters. It's such a great opportunity. So I'm glad to be put my hand in and play a mark in Australian boxing. Look, the Australian boxing's had different generations. Of course, there was Jeff Fennick, Tszyu, and then we went to the Anthony Mundine, Danny Green phase, which of course gave a lot of opportunities. And then it was sort of stuck. It was sort of stuck. And then the rugby players came in, and Paul Gallen gave opportunities to young boxers such as myself. And then on top of that, I jumped into that and started representing where other young up-and-comers started coming up on the scene. So, I think it's passed on through generations, and it's great to be able to give back.
When you look at the current landscape of Aussie boxing, what do you want your role to be in pushing it forward?
I think the landscape of Aussie boxing right now is on a scene. There's plenty of good fighters. There's plenty of different platforms as well. We had a few world champions back. I think now we've only got one. But my role is to keep presenting big fights, international fights. I've always dreamt about going for world titles, and that's what all I'm ever chasing. And of course, to give the platform for the youth and that next, let's say, that next superstar, the next guy who can continue on the Australian boxing legacy. I wouldn't have believed it, that I'd be standing there, I'd be stage fright, But over the years and what you keep doing through the sport and how your goals just keep on evolving, right now I feel like that this is where I am at. This is where I belong. This is the position I've put all my hard work and my whole life into. So no, it doesn't. I'd say it feels normal. It feels at home. When I walked through the MGM, I felt like this is where I'm at, and this is my home. Even though results sometimes don't go according to plan, the best thing and the only thing you can do is put it all into your work, put it all, and if you fail greatly. Sometimes you do fail in life, you know. That's just part of life. The main thing is to always get back up and always push through, you know. There's going to be hard times, there's going to be good times, and just take the good with the good and the bad with the bad and stay with the positive mindset and just keep on pushing no matter what. Words of advice for every young boxer is to go all in. There's a lot of sacrifice involved, but go all into the sport, and don't feel sorry for yourself. When you do that and you work hard, magic happens. And I think that's just not just boxing, but everything in life, you know. If you want to start a business, you got to go all in. You can't look for option B, C, D. No, there is no option B, C, or D. There's only one option, and that's option A, and that's what you've got to do. My mum wanted me to study. She wanted me to study so I can get a job, I can be comfortable in life. But what pursued me to boxing was the fact that I wanted to be different. I wanted to do stuff that not many people do. I wanted to live a life that's for not the ordinary person. And I was always influenced to try and have a backup option. But that never sat with me. It never sat with me to have a backup option. It was always, there was only one option, and that was to get to the very top, and that was boxing. People think coming from a family of a world champion, you think money just grows on trees, but it doesn't. My dad left at a young age, so it didn't. So for me, it was going from fight to fight, to earning that little bit of a bit of money to be able to pay the rent. At the same time, I was able to do personal trainings to keep supporting my life. So for me, I had to train in the morning, eat, do a couple PTs, train back to training, sparring, learning your craft, eat, sleep, cook myself. I had my dog Pablo with me at all times, and my partner Alexandra always with me. So we were living in a small apartment, one better, right close to the gym, 2 minutes walk, which was perfect for what I needed. And yeah, it was all about getting to that very top. And I always had that self-belief that one day I was going to get there. I was going to get big fights. Of course, the first 4 or 5 years, grinding, and you don't really see many results. You're still on the same path. But then it sort of just comes out of nowhere, where the opportunities start arising and you start seeing bigger things coming, and I think that becomes the most addicting part. But the first 5 years is when you become someone that you previously weren't. And I think with anything in life, it's those years that build you, that make you stronger, that make you who you are.
So at this point in your career, you're 30 and entering the twilight zone. We've seen many world-class fighters have their biggest fights in their 30s. What excites you most about this next stage of your career?
Yeah, I think the next stages of my career is just to see growth, you know, to be able to experience the highs, hopefully no lows. But just to experience it all and take it all in. The next stages of my career is about record-breaking numbers in every aspect, you know. Of course, I can win more world titles. Of course, I can get back to the top. I fell short, but that doesn't matter, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to rise back to the very top. I want to try and make it big. You know, I remember Floyd Mayweather made the most amount of money when he was 35 to 38 with the Showtime contract. I just hit 30 years old, you know. I still got plenty of time. People are writing me off, but this is a good feeling that, you know, if you're getting written off, there's the comeback stories on the way.
And that's another thing that a lot of people might be wondering now is what is next? Because After taking some time, I would imagine that you've been plotting and planning a lot of different things for your next move. Can you give us a little sneak peek into anything?
Haven't thought about boxing. Of course, there's been, of course, thoughts, of course. But right now, my main focus is doing my marathon. I'm going to Japan next weekend, but there's little bit of plans ahead that I'm making for myself. But right now, just enjoying the moment.
With everything you've been through beyond boxing, how have you evolved as a man, not just a fighter?
I think the fact that I've been able to become someone who I wasn't, I took the fact that you can crash and burn on your way to greatness, but that's completely fine. I used to think that failure was something scary, but it's not. It only makes you better. It only continues your journey forward rather than back. Wow. And sometimes there are setbacks, of course, but it's who you become in the process. That's the main thing.
So outside the ring, what kind of positive impact do you hope to have on the people who are following your journey?
I think the impact that I want to make is that everyone should have a crack at whatever they do. The biggest failure is not trying, not just boxing. Even for some people, if they're overweight, stepping into a gym, that's scary. You're outside of your comfort zone and it's a scary thing. That right there, you go into the gym, that's growth, that's a W, that's a win for, And everyone should face their fears and not be scared of them. Everyone should set themselves a goal in anything to do, whether it's business, life, relationships, finances, personal things, and then just stick with it and see who you become in the process of that.
Beyond Tim the fighter, what do you want people to know you for?
A guy who challenges himself and doesn't back out of anything and who never gives up. My dad always used to tell me as a young kid to never give up.
Everyone around you knows how disciplined you are, from what you eat to how you spend your time. We've seen fighters spiral in between fights or after retirement. Why is it so important for you to always be your best self?
Lifestyle. And I feel like for me, it's who I became in the process of that, There are moments you feel like getting out of control, but that's fine, You just stay disciplined, and I'm a sucker for burgers. That's the only thing.
What type of burgers?
Just any.
Yeah.
Whatever fight chef makes. Yeah, I think consistency and staying disciplined at all times is very, very important. Not just in sport, but in life, And a lot of boxers and different people go down the other path,
And you have to keep
but
doing
I went
that.
100% in.
100%.
100% battery into boxing.
It
wasn't spending time. There was no family. There was no social events. It was just one thing. It was just boxing for me.
Wow.
The first 5 years, even to this day. Yeah, people don't see the dedication you put into this sport. It takes it all out of you, You miss family moments, weddings.
Yeah.
Sometimes having kids.
So you're someone who thrives on pushing your limits.
Yeah.
And you've proven that time and time again. Just 2 weeks after your fight, you ran half a marathon with minimal preparation. What other physical challenges are on your radar?
At the moment, the marathon, I won't reveal now, but I want to do a Guinness World Record. I've been thinking about it for a year or so now, but I'd love to have a challenge on one of those things.
Do you have something in the works that you're thinking about?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to reveal now.
Okay, yeah.
Wouldn't mind an Ironman, but I don't know how to swim as... If you drown, right? We'll see.
Is that Drago?
Yeah. We'll make up some stuff in the process of becoming a 2-time world champion.
Yeah, can't wait. So finally, what's your message to everyone following you into this next chapter of your journey?
Look, of course, I appreciate everyone's support. Buckle in. It's been one hell of a ride already, but I'm still 30 years young, and the next few years we're gonna make boxing great again.
Shake up the world.
Yes.
Can't wait. All right, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
That was good, man.
It was really good.